Hey, everybody. Welcome to Camel City Chat. I am John McPherson, your host, and I am here with my friend, horticultural agent for edibles, Mary Jac Brennan. How's it going, Mary Jac?
It's great, John. It's so nice to see you.
It's great to see you, too. Of course, we have a relationship outside of Camel City Chat. You were kind enough to let me help you find a home, and your sister a home, and I think like another sister a home, and then another friend a home,
You're just
so
such
thank you.
My pleasure. You're such a good realtor, and I'll have to say I absolutely love my home.
Yeah, well, it's an awesome place. I loved when I have gotten to come up there and see it and chat with you and get the tour again and all that kind of stuff. And
Yeah.
But
John does a good job, y'all.
Okay, so the show's over. Thanks, great. Mary Jac, it's really funny. You work for Forsyth County in a sense, but not really. You work for A&T, and you do horticulture. And when I say edibles, we'll explain that. But first, Mary Jac, this is Camel City Chat, and you have to answer the three.
Okay.
So the first question is, where are you from, and how long have you been in Winston-Salem?
I was born and raised in Sumter, South Carolina.
Okay.
And I have lived in Winston-Salem for 20 years. Well, the Triad for 20 years.
Okay. All right. Now, what's your favorite place to eat?
Gosh.
And you're going to be such a suck up on this. I know you are. Go ahead.
There's so many good local food restaurants. I'm a big advocate of restaurants that use locally grown produce. And I enjoy, every time I get a chance to go to Adam Andrews, I enjoy eating there.
So Jeffrey Adams, you like there? You like Forsyth?
Yes, Jeffrey Adams. Sorry.
Have you been to Young Cardinal yet?
I have not been there. I need to do that.
I need to get by there. I know that they're doing some stuff. He's done that market thing that you and I talked about the other day. So we got to on that. I was expecting you to say that because, he's been a supporter of us with the Paw Paw Festival and things like that. Gosh, we got to talk about that.
Yeah.
So what's your favorite thing to do in Winston?
Oh, gosh. My favorite thing to do in Winston would have to be visit one of the beautiful gardens. And it could be out at Tanglewood. It could be Renolda. It could be in Kernersville. It could be the Sainer Botanical Gardens. So I just enjoy getting out, and I love plants, John.
Yep. Well, and I know that I sold your last house. So let me do that one more time, folks. So John's been on the show, and that was the first time. Now, I've lived here since 77. That's the first time that I knew that little slice of heaven that we called Renolda Gardens wasn't even really Renolda Gardens. That it's like millions of times bigger than that.
Yes.
And then, of course, his wife is at Sainer.
That's right.
Right. And then of course Tanglewood is been something that with the extension stuff that we've talked about before. And
don't forget the Gardens of Old Salem too. That's another place I enjoyed visiting.
It's fun places.
Yep.
So there's so many places that we can take this with you because you and I have been friends for years, and we've done different things together with regards to the Paw Paw Festival, with regards to, the radio show of talking about, I got a rose and it's got these thingies on it. What do I do? To Master Gardener class, which, supposedly I've lost my Master Gardener status because I don't, volunteer to answer the phone for questions that there's no way that I would ever know the answers to.
Right. Right.
So I think the thing that's biggest to me is your love of the edibles. Now, I'm sure that I have people that are really cued in on this because, we're getting close to 420.
Right.
And so there's probably some, explain to those people that have gone down the wrong path, what edibles you're talking about.
I'm talking about fruit and vegetable horticulture.
Okay.
And we're very fortunate at our extension office. We have 2 horticulture agents. One, Leslie Peck, does all of the ornamental horticulture plants, and I teach people about fruit and vegetable horticulture. So when I say edibles, that's what I mean. Although we do have we have a thriving hemp industry here too in Forsyth County. So
because you deal with commercial too, correct?
yes, I work with small farms.
Yeah.
So I work with a lot of the farmers that are selling at farmers markets.
Okay. Well, let's get us there. Okay. So
Okay.
it is 5 or 6 years ago, because I know that you're in your 20s.
Oh yeah.
How did you get to where you are now? So give people the path of horticulture for you.
Oh gosh, John. I guess it really, I won't go into the really long story, but like many people, I was very much influenced by my parents and their love of gardening. And actually my grandparents, even though I grew up in South Carolina, my grandparents lived in Lexington, North Carolina. And so I spent a lot of time coming up to North Carolina to visit them. And my grandfather was a really big gardener. He was like the original organic gardener. So it was just in my blood. And when it came time to go to college, I had worked in high school as indoors at a store in an office where I couldn't see outside. And I decided when I was going to go to college that I wanted to do something where I could be outside. And so I also was thinking, do I want to work with people? Do I want to work with plants? And I decided I'd rather work with plants.
I think everyone would now. So what school did you go to?
I went to Clemson University.
Really? I didn't even know that.
Yeah. Went to Clemson for undergraduate.
You went to the White House, didn't you?
I did go to the White House and saw the national championship team. That was something else.
Yeah. So you've gone to, so you go to Clemson, and what degree do you get?
I get a BS in horticulture, so Bachelor of Science.
Okay.
In plant science. And then I got out, and it was at a time when the economy tanked and there weren't very many horticulture jobs that paid very well. I ended up taking care of plants in downtown Atlanta. So I drove around 285 all day. And
you had the sprayer and the clippers, and you went in the office buildings?
Yeah.
Oh gosh.
It was the pits. And but it was a job. But then we decided to move back to South Carolina, and I taught horticulture, high school horticulture.
Okay.
And after that experience, which I enjoyed, I decided I wanted to get a graduate degree. So moved back upstate and went to Clemson again.
So you've got your Master of Horticulture?
I did I studied landscape design, and also ag education.
Okay. So automatically I'm thinking, I need to call Mary Jac over to tell me where to plant things in my yard.
Oh, definitely.
Right. And then when did you make it to Winston?
Moved to Winston in 97. So actually it's been a little bit more than 20 years. Lived in Charlotte for 10 years and had my own business there as a landscape designer when my kids were little.
Right.
Really enjoyed that. Worked really more than I wanted to, because Charlotte was just a boom town. My husband at the time, we decided we wanted to change gears, and we moved to southeastern Virginia.
Right.
And lived in a 200-year-old house. You would have loved that house, John.
No, I wouldn't have. Go ahead.
It had some stories. And
besides the ghost, go ahead.
It had stories.
Yeah.
Nat Turner the story was that Nat Turner was kept in the basement of that house when his rebellion happened in the county where we lived. So the man who built our house was the sheriff of the Shire. So lots of good stories.
Wow.
Then we moved to Asheville, lived there briefly, and then moved here.
Right. And so you have 3 kids?
Have 3 sons, yeah.
And one's in Asheville?
Actually, he's in Portland now. He was in Asheville.
So Asheville to Portland.
Yep.
And then you've got Raleigh?
Durham.
Yep. Durham, okay. And?
Yep. He's going to be a new dad soon. He and my daughter-in-law are
Oh
expecting
no,
him
I didn't know
soon.
that. That's awesome.
I know.
Tell
I'm
him
going
I
to be a
said
grandmother.
congratulations.
Really excited about that.
Yeah, yep. All right. So, are you going to be Nana? Is that what we're going to? What have
I
you?
don't know. They've come up with some other name for me.
Okay.
I can't. I think it's something like Mimi Jack or something like
Mimi
that.
Jack. That's good. All right. And then where's your third kid?
My third kid is out in San Francisco with his fiance. So we're going to have a wedding. I think they're waiting until 21.
Okay. Out there or back here?
No, in South Carolina, Pawleys Island.
Okay, that'd be nice.
Yeah.
Cool. Well, that's
Yeah.
so cool. Definitely tell them the congratulations because
I will do that. I will
I
do
think
that.
I've met all three now. Have I met all three or just two?
I'm pretty sure you've met all three.
I think I've met all three. The
Yeah.
third one was
Never
just
together.
recent. Yeah. All right. So what gets you this job? And I mean, when I met you.
Yeah. Okay. So I was, when we moved here, I still worked as a landscape designer and did a lot of freelance work, worked with New Garden in Greensboro and New Earth Designs. And,
Right.
The thing about landscape design is it's very cyclical with the economy. And about the time my oldest was going to go to college and he was going to Wake Forest, it was like, oh, I got to have something that makes regular money.
Right.
And I actually did feel called back into the classroom. I really did. So I taught environmental science for about 7 years at East Forsyth High School, and really enjoyed that. Really enjoyed working with the kids. But I started missing horticulture. And again, I was stuck in a room, and it was like, I got to get outside. So our buddy, Craig Money, let me know that there was a community garden position that was going to be coming available. They were going to be interviewing for at Extension. And I had helped to start a community garden at my church and just loved it, was just on fire about community gardening. And so I applied for the job and got it. And that was in 2010. It was a new position, and that was a lot of fun because I got to develop what the program was going to be, really establish the community garden program at the Extension office, and did that for 3 years, and then moved over to this state job because that was a county job. Didn't pay quite as well, and I was looking for a little bit more challenge with the horticulture piece.
So, all right, and people don't understand this. So you work for your boss is actually an employee of Forsyth County?
She's actually an employee of NC State. Oh gosh, it's so interesting.
Okay, so here we go, folks. Ready? So the head of the Forsyth County Cooperative Extension is an NC State employee.
And so all of us at Extension, well, not all of us, some of us at Extension work for one of the land grant universities and the county.
Right.
And so the county puts in money and the land grant university puts in money for our salaries.
So you work for your boss, basically, in the sense of where you get your check from is North Carolina A&T University.
That's right. North Carolina.
And then there are a few people that work just for the county. Yes,
there are. We do have a few people who are just straight 100% county employees.
Okay.
But the majority of us are employed by one of the land grant universities. And in North Carolina, we have two. We have NC State, and then we have A&T State.
Right. Yeah. Okay.
So A&T's focus is on small farms and also on underserved communities. So it's a different focus a little bit than NC State. Their focus is more on bigger farms. They run the Master Gardener program. So it's a little bit different. I mean, we do a lot of we all do the same thing, but just, our audiences are a little bit different.
Well, what I would say is you basically have teed up my question. and that
Okay.
is North Carolina A&T's focus is underserved communities. Where are we at with your position, your former position now, and its effect with what we're going through? So, I mean, how important are these farms going to be?
Oh my gosh. Farms and gardens
Right.
are critically important. We know that they're, on the news today, they're showing pictures of, long lines of cars at food banks.
Hmm.
We know that they're going to be hungry people. And we're very fortunate in Forsyth County that we do have a lot of community gardens, and we do have a thriving small farm community. There is a lot of demand. Some of the farmers markets, many of them are still open, and they're practicing, good social distancing. They're doing pre-orders and you pick up. So
Right.
our small farms are going to be in good shape. I really would like to talk about the community gardening piece.
And that's why I ask it. I mean,
Good.
we had talked earlier today, and I can tell people why we talked earlier today. You know, I moved a rose bush, and I could tell that it was going through something. And you're like, just cut it back, and it's just got shock, and it's going to be okay, John. And I'm like, because it's important to me because of the fact that our neighbors gave it to us when Laura was born. So this is a almost 6-year-old bush that we pulled. It's been moved once before, by the way. Just I don't know if
Right.
I told you that, but so we've moved it now, and I'm not moving it again.
Right.
But I did have to cut it back, and in cutting it back, it is something that it's kind of scary. So I was asking you some questions about that, and then we got to talking about how with COVID and the coronavirus, how integral these things are going to be. So it is all yours to take away and keep walking.
Okay. Well, I want to encourage anybody who has a garden, an existing home garden, or is in a community garden to grow some extra food this year. And a 20 by 20 space will grow enough food to feed a family of 4.
Okay.
And so wouldn't it be cool if all of us who've got these big, beautiful yards with full sun and access to water, and we're gardeners, what if we expanded our gardens just a little bit and grew enough for a whole nother family? That would go a long way. When the community garden program was founded, the whole purpose, it was funded by the Winston-Salem Foundation, and they do such great work in our community.
Right.
They funded it through a grant. Our buddy Craig was part of writing that grant.
Now, okay, so you've said it a couple times. Craig Monty used to be what was his position exactly?
He was the NC State horticulture agent.
Right. So he was a horticulture agent. If you don't know Craig Monty, well, that's a whole nother show.
Yeah.
But a great guy, and definitely
and he's still with Extension, but he was the ornamental horticulture person.
Right, but he's in Asheville now. Where's he now?
He's he's based in Henderson County, but he basically has moved on up in the ranks and is over 39 counties for horticulture. So
Wow.
He's doing really well.
That's awesome.
I get to talk to him about once a week. But so when this was, the reason that they wrote this grant was there was I don't know if you remember back in 2008, 2009, there was a lot of concern about food insecurity. And Winston-Salem was labeled as one of the top 3 MSA regions in the country for food insecurity for children. And
food insecurity, and then also we have the downtown revitalization with a food desert in a sense.
Right.
Okay.
Right. So there was a lot of concern about this, and people wanted to do something, and it was kind of there was just a lot of creativity bubbling around with the county manager's office and the city manager's office and Leadership Winston-Salem and Winston-Salem Foundation. So anyway, the idea of this grant came about. And so we founded the community garden program, and I mean, it just caught on like wildfire. So many gardens have gone in. I think at our highest, we had maybe about 180 community gardens in Forsyth County. And it could be at a church, it could be in a neighborhood, it could be at a YMCA. It's just
Well, I know of 3.
okay.
Is the one across from the Ronald McDonald House, is that an official community garden?
Yes, it is. Yeah.
All right. That's one. And then
Yep.
is like Bethabara, that's a huge one, right? Where you can get like a plot of land almost.
That's right, at Bethabara. So that's based on the original village green, where they, back in, I think it was, oh gosh, I used to know, 1783, they've got plans for that garden. So,
All right. And then you ready for my one? I'm going to pull one out of the hat here on for you.
yeah, what's the third one?
The Enterprise Center.
Wow, I'm impressed.
That one's huge.
It is huge. And it's actually called Simon's Green Acre.
Mm-hmm.
And that's a really cool garden. That's a really cool garden. It's gone through,
And you know why I know that one, don't you?
Are you on that?
Winston-Salem State. That's where I graduated from for my master's degree.
I like it. I like it. Well, there are a whole bunch more gardens. A bunch of the Ys have gardens. Many, many churches have gardens. Some neighborhoods have gardens. And so it is an opportunity for people to grow extra food. Now, the challenge then becomes, okay, so I grow this extra food. How do I get it to the people who need it?
Yeah.
Yeah. How do I get it to the people that need it? And so one of the things back when I was in that position that I really wanted to develop, but it didn't happen, was what was called a pantry project, where we would connect community gardens to pantries, to food pantries.
Like Southwest Elementary has been one that we've talked about on the radio show before.
Yeah.
Great,
so you
great
could take,
pantry. Yeah.
So the idea was we would, and we did some work on this, but it definitely needs to be updated. And Hope did some work on this too, with creating a map where people could, find pantries that had fresh produce. But the idea was to have a coordinated effort. So if you were in the garden, you knew who to call at the pantry, and you knew what day to take it, and so it worked. It wasn't just somebody dropping off.
Some of the smaller pantries, you need a slide rule and an abacus to understand when to get there. What's amazing to me is once you are in the system of needing the assistance of a pantry, it's amazing how this one's open this day and this one's open this day, and I can come to this one for this and this one for that.
Yeah.
And it's a lot of effort, but I mean, it's so
somebody that might be interesting for you to talk to is Margaret Elliott with Crisis Control.
I know Margaret.
Yeah. And I know I've served on a bunch of committees with her and a bunch of other people in the in this world where we're trying to help people. And there's there's actually software program that tracks where people are going, what you're talking about. So it's very well.
I've seen it at Southwest. They mark it off and they can see where they've been and where they're going.
Yep. I can't remember what it's called, Charity Compass or something, but there's a name for that. But, there is definitely a need. The other thing that I would love, because we know that when you teach somebody how to do something for themselves, it can become very empowering and they can gain some independence.
Correct.
So, rather than us just always having handouts, I'm looking for opportunities to teach people how to grow food.
Right.
And, maybe even a lot of people will live in apartments, and so they can't garden in the ground, but they could garden in a container. And you can even use like the old green box recycling boxes that we used to have. Yep. A lot of people still have those around. They make great planters.
Okay.
So,
all right. And so, I mean, basically tomatoes, what am I growing in a planter?
Well, you want to think about things that that are fast.
Right.
They grow fast, and they're easy. And so tomatoes are not easy.
All right.
Tomatoes are a little bit
challenging. What do I want to grow?
You want to grow squash and cucumbers. You could grow peppers. You could grow green beans. You're not going to get that many green beans, but you could do You could do lettuces,
What's
collard.
one of John's least favorite vegetables?
You could do broccoli. You
Ooh,
could do, so
Brussels sprouts?
Brussels sprouts will grow, but they take a really long
I would
time.
assume so. When
Yeah.
you buy the stalk, sometimes like at Costco, it's like, they put them on the fancy, or over at Trader Joe's or something. It's like, the heck is that thing? You know, that's how they
Yeah,
grow. That's gross.
takes about 100 days for those things to happen like that.
So, all right. So let's get this. So, basically what you're saying is you want to grow fast stuff. What about lettuces? Do they grow fast?
Yeah. So in the cool season, you could grow lettuces, you could grow lettuce, spinach, kale. You could grow.
Yeah, you got the same thing happening to me. My 95-year-old dad sent me a message, and I'm like going, and so I was like finally going, Dad, leave me alone. I'm doing Camel City chat.
You saw what I did.
I'm looking at you, and all of a sudden your whole face lights up because there was a message on there.
Yeah.
So, yeah. But okay. So growing in the cold season, what do I grow?
You could grow your lettuces, your kale, spinach, cabbage.
Okay.
But kale, turnips, carrots, lettuce, those things are going to be fast.
So I'm YouTube certified, just so you know. Okay.
Didn't know that.
I saw a guy take let's say that there's a big box store that has orange buckets. So he took like an orange bucket and put a potato in it.
Yeah, you
and
can
grew
do
potatoes.
that. You can do that. You can do that. You could do sweet potatoes that way.
Right.
You could also take a bale of straw, like
Right.
the straw that you get that's spread on your new lawn when it's seeded.
Yes.
Wheat straw.
Yep.
Or fescue. You can take that and plant a garden in it. It's called straw bale gardening.
Okay, I have a client.
You can do that on a concrete pad.
I have a client of mine right now that is wanting to do a straw bale house.
Really?
Yes. I need to hook you two up because you'd enjoy that. They're trying to find a piece of land, and when they find a piece of land, they want to build, they're going to have a small house on it, but then they want to have a straw bale house.
Wow.
Mm-hmm. They want to go off the grid.
That's interesting.
Let's promote Mary Jac a little bit here too. Now, I know you work at the extension and stuff like that, but I'd love to have people be able to get in touch with you to learn about, planting their yards and stuff like that. If you ever, you're going to work there forever, right? But one day you might retire.
One day.
And then, one day, it's a state gig. And then the other is, this actually has been something interesting for you is that you're now teaching some, and you're starting, and you and I talked, you're going to start a YouTube channel. We got to get you a YouTube channel and showing us how to do different things and stuff like that. So I've got less than 100 subscribers. You'll have more than 100 subscribers in the first day. But what I would tell you is we need to talk about that and help you out getting started on that.
I'd love that, John. I'd love that.
Especially with the straw bale thing. Could we do that? You come over to the house and we could just do one in the yard here and plant it and film it.
Yeah. Now it's not particularly attractive in terms of, being, so the idea with the straw bale, I'm just thinking about your yard.
It wouldn't go over in this neighborhood, I don't think.
No, but we could do it at my house for sure. But, basically what you're doing is you're rotting the bale, and the plant is growing from the nutrition that it gets from the composting straw. But it's really cool. There was a group in New York City. They're still there. It's called Farming Concrete. And what they do is they do straw bale gardening, and they'll come set it up for you, and it'll last about, a growing season, and then it's done.
Right.
So,
but am I growing carrots and stuff like that too in it, or am I doing,
probably
is it more above ground?
Above ground. So although potatoes, there are a lot of people that grow potatoes in them.
All right, so I'm growing like tomatoes. I'm growing,
pumpkins, squash,
Okay.
corn, anything.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's interesting.
It's kind of cool. I mean, it's, especially if you don't have clean soil that you can plant in.
Right.
So.
So we got to get you doing some videos about how to do some of these things and helping people get fed. I will tell you earlier today, I don't know if you know Amanda Hobbs, who is the marketing person for the Realtors Association. We were talking and she's like, John, I want to do something if you're cool with it. And I'm like, I don't. So she sent it out today and set a goal of like $1,000, and it's already, she moved it up to 1,500. I haven't checked it yet, but I mean, just today, realtors had already put, over $1,200 towards it's called a virtual food drive, and you just make a little donation.
That's wonderful.
Yeah. And so I'm so proud of that. And I mean, it's just.
That's wonderful.
Yeah.
I think this is going to bring out the best in a lot of us. And, one of the things that I hope this program will do, I've got 2 things I want to tell y'all about. Okay. Every Tuesday morning, probably until at least mid-May, from 10 till 12, I'm doing a Zoom class.
Right.
And you can find, and it's all about how to grow food.
Okay.
And I do a question and answer period at the end of it. That's part of my extension work. You can find the Zoom address. Hopefully we don't get any Zoom bombers, but you can find the Zoom address on the extension calendar.
Okay.
Cooperative Extension calendar. The other thing, we've had to close our building, and so I brought the seed bank home with me. I'm working at home. Any community gardens that need seeds, I want to get them seeds. Right. If there's the neighborhood groups that want to grow food, some of the realtors, if they don't have access to seeds because a lot of places are closed, right. I'd be happy to share. We've got lots and lots that have been donated. The Winston-Salem Foundation also gives us a grant every year to help get seeds and materials out to people who need them to help them grow. So they can get in touch with me. I don't know exactly. Do you want me just to give them my?
Absolutely. Whatever number you want to give. I mean, your office number, and then you check it or whatever.
Okay. So my email is going to be Mary Jac. It's MaryJac _ Brennan, BRENNAN @ncsu.edu. So that's probably the best way to get me, or they can call my office number, which I get here. It's 336-703-2869.
Okay.
We also hope to have some tomatoes that one of the Master Gardeners is growing for us. We had to cancel the Master Gardener sale because of the stay-at-home order. Right. And so we've got a bunch of tomatoes that we'll be giving away to community gardens as well. Plants, okay. Tomato plants.
All right. Can I get a sandwich? So let's answer a question together.
Okay.
What happened to the Pawpaw Festival?
Oh man, the Pawpaw Festival. That was fun, wasn't it, John?
Here, right. This lady right there, and this.
That was so much fun.
I still get so many emails about it.
Well, there's still Derek is still super active on that Facebook page. Yeah. And we do have our lovely orchard. What I want to do is I want to get that fruit to a brewery in town and have them make some kind of pawpaw beer.
I'm sure we can get that lined up. That's
pawpaw beer is delicious.
That's not a problem. I can help you with that.
Okay.
What are we looking at, like August or September?
Starts coming in about August 15th and usually finishes up by the end of September.
Yeah, we can get on that.
That'd be great.
What I don't know if we'll ever be able to do it again. I mean, what our biggest one was 1,200 people, I think.
I think so. Yeah.
And what, when we get that question, first of all, it has to be a group of people. Now the volunteers, they're all in. it's got to be county executive directors, all that kind of stuff. They've got to be wanting, they've got to want to do it and dedicate the time to it. And with so many programs and stuff, it's hard for that to happen. So then it becomes your full-time job. And I appreciate everything you did for it. And it's hard to pull off.
It was a lot of fun. We needed a festival director,
Mm-hmm.
and we just didn't have one. And it ended up, I couldn't do that job and my other job.
Right.
So,
and that's something we had talked about is even trying to do that as like an internship, having them, a college kid do it as a project or something.
Yeah.
It may come back at some point.
I
know Derek wants it back.
And we do, what'd you say?
I said, I know Derek wants it back.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. We do, every year we do have some kind of educational program about, how to grow pawpaws and what are pawpaws, and
right.
And do tours of the orchard. And we do have some great volunteers. Walt Hall has been so supportive, and Jim Notkey was always so supportive. But we need a festival director. You know anybody over at the tourism department? Maybe we can get them involved.
Well, I will tell you this. I need to get you by the house because, I have like 3 full-grown trees in the backyard now.
Do you really?
Yeah, the old house, yeah.
Were they fruiting?
Oh, yeah.
Nice.
I didn't even go down and look at them last year, but I've seen fruit on them before. Yes.
Yeah.
We'll have to look.
You probably had some happy animals then.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. I've got blueberry bushes down there that are almost as tall as the pawpaw trees.
Really?
Yeah.
Nice, John.
Left unattended. The left unattended stuff will grow.
Oh, it will turn into a jungle within 5 years.
By the way, I checked on the tree and they're like fine with that. I have a tree that broke and they're like, yeah, go ahead and change that one out. We understand.
Oh, good.
How do you plan a yard? Because as I told you, the yard that we have now, I wish I had it. I don't have it in here. I mean, it is this big. Let's see. It's probably this big, the plan that's laid out.
Yeah. It's drawn to scale and
on a huge blueprint.
Yeah, it's beautiful. Your yard's gorgeous, John. Well, the main thing that I do when I'm working with folks, and of course that's not something I do with Extension, but
this is your hobby.
Right. And when I was a landscape designer, the most important thing was to find out, the client, what they wanted, how they wanted to use the yard, were they just interested in something to make their house look better, or did they want to have activity areas out in the yard? Did they have some areas they wanted to block off so they didn't see? Did they have, like neighbors they didn't like or whatever that they didn't want to see? Or views they wanted to change or enhance? So you kind of get your marching orders by what their desires are. And then I would always try to get a sense of what sort of, what colors people like. If they have a particular style in mind, like they might say, oh, I love the way English gardens look, or I'd like a Japanese sort of feel, or, you want to figure out who you're working with. And then you just, like your designer did, you would have a scale drawing so that it's going to be accurate. You do a site analysis and find out, where your sun and shade is, and figure out about soil type and where water flow is and wind direction and all that. So it's a lot of fun. And then you just design it. You need to know the plants.
I just want to be able to walk outside and go, hey, this looks nice. And you're like, John, I have blood, sweat, and tear gas.
There's science and engineering behind all of it.
But no, I mean, we're friends. That's why I can pick on you, because
art.
Who I call when I have a question is you.
That's right. And so I'm glad you do.
Let's talk about Winston, because we've been on for a little while now, and I want to let you get back to, well, go to bed probably. It's late at night tonight. But where do you see Winston-Salem going? I mean, as all these, and I'm not talking about the what's going on with the coronavirus. I'm talking about, downtown. I mean, because remember when you came here, downtown was like, what? Now it's like, so where do you see Winston-Salem going? What
oh my gosh. I think we are headed in such a positive direction, with all the local restaurants and the enthusiasm for supporting local.
Yep.
We've got thriving farmers markets, breweries, cool places to go, really nice outdoor spaces. That whole innovation quarter has just changed, part of downtown as well. So many more people live downtown now.
Yeah.
So I think that we're going to continue to see, there'll be some, it'll slow down a little bit now with all of the economic stuff
Yeah,
we're
I
going
was so
through right now.
disappointed to see the hives closing. Yeah. And we're going to lose some more people. I just hate that because
Yep.
great businesses, people taking
Yep.
huge risks.
Yep.
So.
And we need to support our local stores and entrepreneurs. We do have a large number of creative types here in Winston-Salem, and I think that's one thing that makes our city so great. And the city has done a lot to create some really nice outdoor spaces as well, and trails, and connecting parts of the city with each other. So I think we're going to continue to become a vibrant city. I think you'll see more food outlets downtown too, because so many people live downtown. They're going to want grocery stores. They're going to want more restaurants. We will probably have a downtown year-round farmers market before too long.
They already do. They go over to Wiseman, don't they?
Yeah. So they're going to probably have a more permanent location.
Right.
And so,
I never understood why we had the market next to Sixth and Vine, but they never used it as a farmer's market.
Yeah, I know.
That was something weird to me. What I like to compare to what's going on to Winston-Salem, something that will bring back some time for you, and that is, could you imagine how your time at Clemson would have been if Greenville was like it is now?
Oh my gosh, yeah. And I lived in Greenville. I forgot to say that. My first child was born in Greenville, and oh my gosh, what an awesome city.
So one of my friends actually had one of the condos down near the falls, and just loved that place. And
yeah,
but it's just an amazing city. And, that's one of the cities that Winston-Salem models after. Chattanooga's another one.
Yep.
And, things like that. The problem is we don't have a water feature downtown, which is what make them having, a little bit more of an edge on us.
Right. Well, maybe we'll figure out with the Salem Creek and
Right.
Silas Creek. Those are real waterways.
Right.
And of course, we've got the Yadkin River,
Right.
On our western border. That's not downtown, but we've got a lot of water here.
Yep.
Brushy Creek, also in the eastern part of the city.
Yep.
So we need to definitely protect those waterways and get out and enjoy the paths and strollways that go along them.
Well, so what do we need to do to make Winston-Salem it? Yeah, is there anything out there that you think we're lacking on that we need to work on? Besides more community gardens and that, and eating at Chef Andrew's places. Okay, besides those things, but hey, give Mary Jack a raise. Of course, we got to say that.
Oh yeah.
No, I mean, honestly, is there anything that we need to do?
I think that I tell you what I would like to see, and this isn't exactly what you're asking, but
it's fine.
I would love to see a real thriving school garden program that connected young people with gardening and with nature. There's a lot of interest, and I think that when you can get people started young with gardening or being outside and learning about nature, there's much more appreciation, and that they'll have a lifetime of that's a part of my life. I'm going to spend time outside.
Right.
And I think that a lot of us are having to spend more time at computers because of our work situations have changed, And I know for myself, I have to get outside and walk around some just to get away from a screen. And I've
How many
heard
people
so
have you
many
seen
more people
walking
say
now?
that.
It's crazy. If even up where you're at, I mean, how many people do you see walking now?
Oh yeah. Just out walking.
Mhm.
So
I think it's a reset.
yeah, I think so too, John. And so I guess what I would say, that coordinated effort of doing something for our schools, because the other thing that's going to do, we've got a lot of issues with childhood health issues where they're not eating properly. They
Right.
don't really eat fresh produce. They don't know what it is. So if we had that program where we had some school gardens, maybe not every school can have a garden, but if we had some that kids could be
That's
a part
an
of.
excellent idea.
Yeah.
Yeah, my daughter goes to a Montessori school, and they work in the dirt.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, she's homeschooling right now. I think did she put peas or black beans in a bag with a
Awesome.
paper towel? Yeah, so she's doing that right now.
She's doing a germination test.
Yes, yeah. So she does that every year, and it
Well,
turns colors.
And we know that when children, I mean, there's research that if children have like 5 exposures to fresh produce, like either planting a seed, tending a garden, harvesting, maybe preparing it, and then eating it, even coloring things about it, they're going to be more likely to choose to eat that fresh produce.
Right.
And they drive, children drive a lot of buying decisions in a family.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. I mean, my daughter does eat about everything, which is great.
That is good.
My wife is really big on making her eat vegetables early on. And now it's like, oh, Brussels sprouts, great. And it's like, but now that you put sweet balsamic vinegar on Brussels sprouts, are the greatest things in the entire world.
Oh my gosh, aren't they?
Yeah.
Yum. Put a little bacon in there too.
Yep, absolutely. Yeah. So I just want to say thanks. I mean, Mary Jac, you're a great lady. You're a wonderful friend. I think I love what you do for our community. And I just want to say thanks for being with me on Camel City Chat.
Well, John, I appreciate the opportunity. When I saw that you had this YouTube program, I thought, I want to be on his program.
And then I asked you anyway.
Yeah. So anytime. And, I really have had the privilege of getting to do a lot of really cool things in Winston with meeting just incredible people over gardening. And I'm really grateful for that experience. And seriously, anything I can do to help promote gardening, especially in this time, I want to do that. So if anybody needs seeds for a community garden, if you want to start a community garden at your church, give me a call at the office and I'll be glad to help you do that, or your community of faith, or, your
I'll put your info
social club, whatever.
Yeah, I'll put your info in the show notes so people can get in touch with you.
Okay. Thank you, John. I appreciate it.
Gardening is growing friendships. All right. So we'll be back next week with more Camel City Chat. Of course, like, subscribe, do all those things on YouTube so we can get our numbers up. And again, I'm John McPherson with Camel City Chat. And I want to thank my friend and our guest, Mary Jac Brennan with the Cooperative Extension here in Forsyth County. She is who you need to call if you're a small farmer or if you're wanting to learn more about edibles, the kinds you eat, actually, not the others. But she's an awesome resource for you, and it's with your taxes. It's something
that's right.
You're getting as a free service. It's
already paid for.
Utilize. You're like the public library.
That's right.
Of gardening.
That's right.
So we'll be back next week with more Camel City Chat. Thanks.
Thank you.